Now let's move on to some of the opportunities that are coming your way today, especially with your growth in China. You are a very respected individual in the Chinese banking community, and you are a pioneer in terms of building your banking industry in China. Except that this year, a number of foreign institutions are reviewing their Chinese domestic business because of certain regulatory challenges that have been put in place, or rather that they're faced with. And instead, you set up you have the first credit card, renminbi credit card.
Yeah. The first debit card and the first credit card in China with
so you
China
seem to be
Yuan
moving
Pay.
along quite nicely, which will be quite different from some of the challenges that other foreign banks are facing in China.
Well, basically because we've been in China since 1920, and we are the only bank that has not left China since we established there.
Okay.
And I think that because of that and because of our relationship with the authorities, they trusted us.
Right, but the authorities have been putting in place checks on foreign banks, and in fact access to the interbank market for domestic currency and so on. How's that affecting your business?
Well, I think that they have a very even hand on all foreign banks. We are no exception to it. But we have paid more attention to regulation than other banks. And on each of our branches, we have a very strong compliance officer.
Right. But how would you describe your liabilities base in China, in domestic liabilities base?
We are very happy with what we got in China.
You think that you've gone further than, say, a Hang Seng or a HSBC or the other banks that are now starting to build their branch network?
Well, I wouldn't say that we have gone ahead of them. I think we have certainly not lagged behind any one of them. In certain area, we are definitely ahead of them, but in certain area, we may be equal to them.
Which areas would you describe as you being a leading, foreign bank in China?
I think in terms of retail banking, I think we are quite ahead of quite a number of other banks, because we have now over 74 operations on the mainland. And then we are the first one to issue, as you mentioned, credit card, debit cards in China. We are the first bank in Hong Kong to issue renminbi bonds.
But would you have also liked to have opportunities for renminbi business in Hong Kong as a result of that goodwill that you have, which might have stood you in good stead ahead of, say, a Bank of China or a HSBC?
I don't think we will ever be ahead of Bank of China, no, because they
at least had the opportunity to.
But they are our very good friend, and we work closely with them.
Right. Tell me about your reason for seeking an IPO in China, and what sort of time frame do you have put in place?
I think our China business is growing so fast and doing so well that we feel that we need a lot more capital to support our expansion in China, and in order to, and we are not allowed to bring in more capital from Hong Kong into China. So the only way to support our expansion is to basically to go for an IPO in China.
Now, how would that change your industry or your institution? Because then you would have to look after a capital base in two different jurisdictions, and Hong Kong would be so different from from your shareholder base in China in that sense. How do you think that is going to change? Maybe even the time that you have to spend in China as a result.
Well, we have already got a division that look after China,
right.
And then one of my sons is deeply involved in looking after that aspect of the business in China,
okay,
together with his team.
Now, you're also spending some time in Taiwan, and I think you just bought the AIG business, yes, right, in Taiwan. What was that all about?
That is basically to offer wealth management and asset management in Taiwan. In fact, I'm going over to Taiwan on Thursday to meet with some of my friends, and also to renew acquaintances with some of the political leaders.
Right. Is it part of a pan-China or a all-China type of a business model that you have in your mind?
Yes. We believe in one China policy.
Okay. You want to be a player in the Greater China.
The Greater China
model right now.
Yeah.
How much of your business would you describe, or do you think that there is a business in terms of being a transshipment point between Taiwan and China right now?
Oh, it's more and more so. So we have two operations in Taiwan, and both those two operations bring in a lot of business for us in China, because a lot of Taiwan manufacturing company are now outside Shanghai.
Right.
And we have to look after the clients in Taiwan as well as in China.
Right. Is the wealth management business in China worth pursuing?
Definitely, without doubt. It is really a growing business in Hong Kong and in China.
Given the fact that the domestic Chinese banks, especially the larger ones, have a strong hold on the liability space in China, the foreign banks have found that a huge challenge, and you are still very, very confident of the wealth management business in China. Why is that?
Basically, because I think most of the wealthy Chinese do not like to put their money in state-owned banks. They want to have money in other pockets than just one bank. They want to spread their risks. They want to put money elsewhere. So we are very fortunate because of our history, our reputation, that they trust us.
Now, coming back to your organic business in Hong Kong, you're going to end off this year more or less the same as last year.
I hope not. I hope we'll do much better than last year.
Okay.
Last year was a terrible year for us.
Yes. What's driving that rebuilding process?
Basically, because we learned a lot of lessons from it, from the bank run, and our team is much stronger than before.
Right, but at the same time, the competition on margins is very, very tough in this environment. At the same time, Hong Kong, the upside potential on fees is, you've got competition, very rough competition. So how do you expect to pull away from that and provide a value proposition that's unique to Bank of East Asia?
Well, we always have competition in Hong Kong. Hong Kong before 1997, we have unfair competition. But now after 1997, we have more fair competition. But we like challenges.
And outside of Greater China, Hong Kong, do you have ambitions in other parts of Asia or connectivity with the west coast of the U.S.?
We like America very much. In particular, West Coast of America, we enjoy very much. And we feel that by building a bridge between China through Hong Kong and the West Coast of America is where our future is.
And what have you done so far to start on building that?
We have 12 branches in the West Coast of America already. And we also have branches in Vancouver and Toronto.
Mr. David Lee, you have a very strong position yourself by way of reputation and your involvement in the business community in Hong Kong. Now that you are no longer a member of the EXCO, but you're still a member of the LEGO, right?
The LegCo, yes.
LegCo. And what role do you see yourself playing in the next few years in Hong Kong and Hong Kong's own development as both as a financial center as well as in the business community in Hong Kong?
Well, I'm hoping to assist the local institution, in particular the financial institution, in getting into China in a more direct way, and also to build up Hong Kong as an international financial center for Asia.
Right, that being your most important role
Yes.
in the LegCo,
Yes.
basically. Thank you very much, Mr. David Lee.
Okay.
Thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So nice to see you again.